Hello, my name is Rachel, and I like making YouTube videos. Okay guys, so recently I've received a few questions that were kind of interesting to me, and I thought, well, why not just do a video and answer these questions? I answered them individually when they were asked on my videos, but I thought there might be other people out there that were also curious about these things, but were just uncomfortable asking. And so I just thought I would share the questions and my answers with you in case you were one of the people wondering, but just didn't, feel comfortable asking me these particular questions. I'm a pretty honest, open person, and I don't really mind. Like, I'm not easily offended or anything like that, as long as the questions are, related to topics and not of a sexual nature. You guys know what I'm talking about, because we get those questions too, and I usually just delete and block. but for the most part, I'm really honest and open, and not easily upset or offended by things. So yeah, let's just jump into these questions. And like I said, I've already shared answers individually, but I'm going to probably repeat those answers and then expound on them a little bit here with you guys today. Because like I said, these were just interesting, and it never even occurred to me that people might be wondering these things. So let's go for it. Question 1. How do you make a living selling clothes? You buy at Goodwill and sell them on the internet. Are you getting a disability or Social Security? I know it's not my business, but I am sure lots of people are wondering. I know you sell your art, but how much does that bring in for surviving? Okay, so yeah, that's an interesting and good question. It didn't occur to me that anyone might be thinking that, but no, I'm not on any sort of disability. I'm not on, I don't get Social Security. I don't get any sort of assistance. Honestly, when I was younger, I had a very negative attitude towards assistance, and I felt that it was shameful to get assistance, like even food stamps or something like that. But now that I'm older and I've been paying into the system since I was, 15 and 8 months old, when I could first get my first worker's permit and start working a W-2 job, I've been paying into the system for how many years now? Like, was that 30 plus years? And it occurs to me, it's not shameful. If you need help, it is not shameful to ask for that help. I've been fortunate where I've just never been in a position where I've needed that help. So I've never gotten any sort of thing like that. But I do know that some people still, even now, even in today's world, a lot of people still view it negatively and as something that's shameful, but it's not. And I just want to say that right now. If you need the help, there's no shame in getting the help. I would much rather the money I've paid into the system since I was almost 16 years old, I would much rather that money went to helping people than a lot of things it does go towards, if you know what I mean. So if you need help, ask for it. But no, I've personally never received any sort of help in that way. Yes, I do sell. I'm a little bit of a reseller. I'm not a serious one. I don't go out to Goodwill and buy bags and bags of stuff to resell. I just buy an item here and there. I actually just found this adorable skirt at Goodwill the other day, which I'm just going to show you because we're talking about Goodwill. It's a Sailor Moon skirt. Look how cute this is. It's got the little cat heads on it and the celestial vibe, and it's my size, although it'll probably still end up on Poshmark, to be honest, because I don't really wear skirts a lot. I have a huge collection of skirts, which I need to start selling because I just don't wear skirts. I always wear dresses. They're just easier. And also with the way that I'm currently overweight, dresses hide things better for me than a skirt and a top do. But that's beside the point. I am a little bit of a reseller. I'll admit that. But I'm not serious about it. I'm not constantly buying to resell. Just when I am at a Goodwill and I find something that I think is a good price that I can make a couple of dollars off of, I will pick it up. And I never make a ton of money. Well, I can't say never. There have been a few finds that were just that I was able to turn over for a decent chunk of money. But on average, I only make maybe $5 to $10 off an item I sell on Poshmark because I'm not jacking the prices way up. I pay I bought this skirt for I want to say $7 is Goodwill skirts, and then I'll try to get 20 for it. And then after fees and everything, my profit will probably be $5 or $6. So I'm not making a ton of money by selling clothes online. And also, you know, I do have my Etsy as well as my Poshmark, where I do put a lot of the stuff, although I'm not great about keeping it stocked, but I do put, you know, stuff I make on the Etsy. And I get a little bit of business there. I've been doing specialty engraved scales and been selling to other scale mailers. That's been going well. Every now and then one of my pairs of acrylic earrings sell. But I don't make a lot of money from Etsy either, especially after all the fees and everything. And then I also do in-person events, like not a lot of them, like maybe 3 a year, but there's a brewery near me that does dark Gothic and punk themed events and occasional horror events that, you know, I'm good for all of those. And I just did a nightclub not too long ago where it wasn't super profitable because it wasn't really my crowd for the stuff that I had, but I did enough to make it worthwhile. So, you know, I just do little events like that throughout the year. I won't be able to do my biggest event this year, Dark Force Fest. That's where I would make thousands. But, you know, still not enough to live an entire year off of. But that was always my biggest event. But unfortunately, I can't go to it this year. So I don't have that on the table. And yes, I am unemployed. And it's an intentional unemployment. It was only supposed to be 1 year. But the way things went, it was like, I had this plan before I even met Bryant. I was going to work to a certain point, save up enough money, take a year off, get my house ready to sell. And then I was going to move back I have a townhouse in Winchester, Virginia that I currently rent out. But I was going to give them like a year's notice and then spend a year getting the house I was living in ready to sell and then move back to Winchester. But Bryant messed up all those plans. I'm sure my tenants don't know about that, but I'm sure they're happy about that because I haven't raised rent on them in like 9 years. The entire time they've lived there, I don't think I've ever raised their rent. But, you know, the whole thing being that's my backup plan. Anything ever goes wrong, I can move back to my first house I ever bought in Winchester. And that was my initial thing when I took the year off of work. I'd saved up the money so it wouldn't be an issue. And I do this starting probably around 2010. I do this every so often where I save up a bunch of money and then I take a year off of employment. And my thought behind that is there's not going to be Social Security for us. By the time I'm ready to retire or eligible to retire in, what is that, like 15, 20 years, something like that, there's not going to be any Social Security left for me. I'm going to be working pretty much until the day I die. So I wanted to take some time off where I could really enjoy life, because the problem with life is you either have the time or you have the money. You very seldom have both, if you know what I'm saying. So I wanted to be able to have the time and money. So I'd save up a nice big nest egg, take a year off, and live off of that savings, supplementing that savings with these other little side things I do to help the savings go further. So this was the third time in my life I've done it, which was only supposed to be 1 year. And it is, I think I'm on nearing year 3 at this point. Because at the end of that 1 year, then it was like, Bryant and I decided to move in together, so there was no point in finding a job at that point. And then it took more time to get into, so I spent more time getting the house ready for sale to move in here with Bryant. I had to get this garage fixed up, which I paid for the renovation for this garage, so I would have a place to put all my stuff because this house is smaller. So that savings from that 1 year, initially, it pretty much ran out because it was much longer than I intended. It was only supposed to be 1 year, and it went on to over 2 years. But then I sold my house that I was living in, and that replenished my savings, which is why I'm still able to live the lifestyle I'm living unemployed, because I've plushed up my savings. So savings is dwindling. I'm not going to be able to do this forever. That is the honest truth. I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination. I've just managed to make a few good decisions along the way that allowed me the privilege of being able to do these things. But I am going to have to go back to work within the next year. My savings is not going to, like I said, it's not going to keep me unemployed and cushy for the rest of my life. So anyway, that was a lot of explanation just to get to the point of, no, I don't live off of those things. It just supplements my savings. And I am going to have to return to work sometime soon. But no, I don't get disability. I could have summed it all up in that. Sorry about all that. Anyway, moving on. That was probably way more than you ever needed to know about my lifestyle and finances. So the next one is very similar. So I take it your job is selling clothes on the internet. Who pays for your health care? That's not cheap. And boy, are you right. That is not cheap. And I don't have health care. That is just the truth. I have not had health insurance since I left my last job. Like I said, almost three years ago now. I've just been getting along on a wish and a prayer. Fingers crossed, nothing bad happens. I think I got seriously ill one time in there, and I just went to a little instant clinic. I had pneumonia, and it was like $300 and some without insurance for the instant clinic stuff, and then of course whatever it cost me for the prescriptions. But if you have GoodRx, which is just like an app on your phone, you can get really good deals on your prescriptions too. So that really helped save me a lot of money there. But no, I don't have health insurance. Yes, that is a terrible thing because I am in my 50s and my health could take a turn at any moment. I don't know. I've been trying to eat better. I've been trying to exercise more. I've been, trying to approach it from that angle at least. But at some point, I am going to need insurance. So that goes back to, yes, within the next year, I am going to have to find new employment. I just don't know what I want to do yet. A lot of my IT skills are outdated. I'm not sure I could get back into that industry. I might have to find a whole new career path. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I haven't started really looking into that, but no, I don't have health insurance. That's how I afford it, by not having it. And by, thankfully, so far, not having anything seriously go wrong with my health. So that's the answer to that question. This wasn't really a question. This was more of a statement, but I think I might have gotten a little defensive on this one. But it's, now that you're living with your boyfriend, you have more money to spend on clothes. And I just, like, my boyfriend does not support me. I pay for household expenses. I pay for, my half of the bills. I buy groceries. I paid for renovating this garage, and it's his house, so he gets all the equity from, what I put into this garage. So we worked out something on, my half of the mortgage on that by subtracting what I put into this garage until the garage is paid off, because he gets all the equity. So that's, it helps a little bit, of course, because, it helps as much as getting a roommate, really. Like, I have someone to now split everything with. So yes, in a way, I do have a little more. If I were back at work, I would have more spending money because of that, because I would have, a partner who's paying half of everything. But he doesn't support me. So that's where I feel like I think that statement just made me get a little defensive, because I am a strong and independent woman. I don't need a man. So that wasn't really a question, but I just want to put it out there. I am not a kept woman. I pay my share. I think that goes back to that youth. When I was younger, I just had these weird pride issues where it's like, no one's going to take care of me. I can take care of myself. But of course, when you're in the right partnership, you take care of each other. And that's what we do. We take care of each other. And then the final one, which again is this one I just thought was funny. But again, it is about money and clothes. But it was just funny. Do you think you might need professional help on spending money with so many clothes when you clean out your closet and you just buy more? All your videos are buying clothes. I found that funny because, like, do I need professional help? Maybe. Will I get professional help? Definitely not. But I don't feel like all my videos are clothing hauls anymore. I know I definitely go through phases where I have tons and tons of clothing hauls, but I don't feel like that many of my videos lately have been clothing hauls. Mostly my videos lately have been $1 a day at the bin store hauls, which are less than $20 hauls. So I'm not really spending that incredibly much money. I did just recently do a small Wet n Wild makeup haul that was, I think, around $20 total, just over $20 total for the 4 items. And, I've had some, the Goodwill hauls count as clothing hauls, but half of the Goodwill hauls are for sale on Poshmark, are to try and flip on Poshmark and make a couple of dollars. So I don't feel like I'm really, lately at least, I know in the past it's been all clothing. So much clothing, which is why I'm trying to do this closet clear out thing here, because I do have too much clothing. I don't get around to wearing it, and it's just a waste. It's just a waste for me to keep to hoard all this clothing that's not getting the love it deserves. But yeah, Do I need professional help? Maybe. But just like the rest of my life, when there have been times when I probably needed professional help, I just found coping mechanisms and just dealt with it and moved on. So yeah, that's that. But let me know what you thought about all of this down in the comment section below. And just a quick summary here, I do have some supplemental income things. I am going to have to return to work soon. I have in the past considered things like setting up a Ko-Fi, which is where like you guys could buy me a coffee. But I always feel weird if people give me money and I don't give them something in return, if that makes sense. I don't know though. Like, how do you guys feel about Ko-Fi? I don't know. Let me know what you think about that down in the comment section below. Also, I did briefly consider a Patreon. Not that I have a lot of like this type of content that I could give exclusively on Patreon, but I was thinking I would do like a chain or scale mail Patreon where different levels of contribution, like maybe one level I send you a pair of earrings every month, or every month that you contribute that amount of money, and another level I send you a chain or scale mail necklace every month, and then have like a really high tier where you can get a scale mail bra top. Yeah, stuff like that. But I don't know if that would even interest anyone, because I always feel like the amounts that you have to charge might be a little bit more because you're covering fee. I mean, I guess it's like selling on Etsy and stuff like that. I don't know though. I don't know. So I've thought about things like that in the past to also help supplement my income. And I didn't mention, I do make about $30 a month off of YouTube. So every 3 months I get a $100 check from YouTube. I mean, again, not a lot of money, but these tiny little things here and there do add up to, at least not quite a survivable amount, but definitely helping my savings go further. But I really need to start getting more serious about that, because like I keep saying that savings is dwindling, and it's I already dwindled it completely down once, and then I brought it back up, but it's already going back down. Because that's just the way money works, right? Especially when you buy things, which I do. So like, I'm not good at, adjusting my lifestyle, I guess. But the whole point, like I said, in the past, when I saved up the money, the whole point was to be able to live the life of having time and money, not just one or the other. So that's been the whole point of doing these little year-long, although this one, again, has extended way too long. And I do need to figure out something for a real income soon. But anyway, let me know what you thought about all those things. I don't know. Let me know what you thought about these questions down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I guess if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you thought that I shouldn't be discussing all these things, I'm being too open on the internet, feel free to tell me that as well down in the comments below. Because I know to a lot of people, these sort of things are very personal and shouldn't be discussed in public. Like, you're never supposed to discuss, what is it? Never supposed to discuss finances, politics, or religion in polite conversation. That's a very old-fashioned view because no one follows that stuff anymore. But when I was growing up, those were the rules. But let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching and humoring me on this. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, did I already go through all this? I might have. But anyway, let me keep going. If you didn't enjoy it, give it a thumbs down. Tell me all about it in the comments below. And please subscribe to the channel. And I hope everyone is just staying happy, healthy, and safe in this incredibly crazy world we're living in. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye!